Education, mentors, opportunities, career. The world is constantly changing. You are going to be pushed outside of your comfort zone again and again. In fact, if you're in your comfort zone for a little too long, it means it's time to do something different. All of us need to be equipped with the right toolkit to figure out what kind of career we are going to pursue and, more importantly, how we are going to get there. Our series Launchpad is going to take you through a few steps to make sure that you're equipped with the right tools to ensure that you reach your end destination by taking the right journey. Because at the end of the day, your journey will define who you become at your destination. We are going to take you through a 10-episode series where the first 4 episodes will be specifically focused on the how-to approach, essentially how to best prepare yourself for your dream career. Now, the 6 episodes following will focus on some of the fastest growing professions globally and give you an insight into how you can be a part of this change in the labour market. The first episode is called Assess, and it's all about looking inside, personally. The second episode is called Audit, and conversely, this episode will be about looking outside and understanding the external environment. The third episode is called Assimilate, and we will discuss how you can link your internal and external environments so that they align with each other. Our last of the 4 episodes is called Achieve, and this one will link your study path to the labour market and provide a step-by-step approach based on the previous 3 episodes. So let's dive right into Assess who we are, because we need to understand who we are on the inside to then be able to respond effectively to our external environment. Why is self-assessment important? Why is it important to understand who we are? Imagine this. It actually happened to one of my friends. You have this dream of becoming a psychologist. You've attended all the information sessions, you like the subjects, and you've done your research. You're all set and you think this is the career that you want, but you've forgotten one very important thing. Being a psychologist requires constantly dealing with patients, being empathetic, having a high level of communication skills, and the ability to withstand a myriad of emotions yourself so that you can continue to live a healthy lifestyle both physically and mentally. As much as you may love studying psychology, maybe your personality is not suited to handle the soft skills I've just described that come with being a psychologist. This example can replicate itself across many different professions. You can't be a doctor if you can't stand the sight of blood, no matter how much you love helping people. And you can't be a maths teacher regardless of how good you are at maths if you aren't good at understanding children and having the ability to articulate your passion for maths. You need to be able to look inside yourself holistically, your whole self, so that you can understand who you are and who you want to be. We are going to explore 4 essential components of self-assessment that I want you to think about and take note of from this day forward. These are interests and experiences, skills, achievements, and personality and values. Let's look at them one by one, and don't forget, it's great to ask questions and critically analyze who you are. Let's start with interests and experiences. So I want you all to think of one activity that you've been a part of in the last few years that really interests and provides you with a certain satisfaction, whether that be purely enjoyment or a sense of achievement. So I will use myself as an example through this process so you understand how you can analyze yourself. So I love playing tennis. I started when I was about 8 years old and I still play almost every day now. It brings me a lot of enjoyment, keeps me active and healthy, and gives me a sense of accomplishment when I beat my competition. This is why I love it. Now, go back to the one activity that you thought of. Why do you like it so much and why do you continue to do it? It's definitely an interest of yours if you keep going back to it, and this interest is going to help you decide the type of study path you choose. But to do that, you need a holistic view of all your interests and the individual experiences you have with each of those interests. So, as an example, my other interests growing up and even now includes learning languages, traveling, playing a variety of sports, debating, international politics, and education. So this is just a snippet of the activities I've participated in the last 5 to 10 years. And in the same way, I want you to now write down 5 activities that you love doing. So I did mention already that the experiences you have with these interests will lead you to pick the best study and career path. Now, this doesn't mean that just because I love tennis, I'm going to be a pro tennis player. What this means is that I may pick a university where they have a great sports facility so I can pursue my interests. Let's consider the flip side. There are definitely going to be activities that you don't like doing, and it's necessary to understand these as well. So we learned a lot of Photoshop during IT class in school and had to create a project based on our skills. I could get it done and have an end product, but I found it so tedious that I was not only done with discarding graphic design as a profession, I was just done with IT as a whole. Now, I want you to write down 5 activities that you aren't interested in and think about why. Soon you will have your list side by side of what you love and don't love, and learn from these lists. Think about the aspects of each activity that interests you and think about the aspects that don't. Think about why. I love learning languages because it opens up so many opportunities for global connections, a whole new network of people to talk to and understand in terms of culture and values. So I also like that there's a method to learning each language, and after I learned the first 3, there seemed to be a similar logical system I could apply to the next 3. I felt in control, at ease, and very excited for global opportunities. Your experiences during each activity that does or does not interest you is going to shape who you become and how you think about what you want to study or the profession that you want to undertake. It can be from the most subtle to the most obvious. And what do I mean by this? Well, you love drawing, so you may end up working alongside an architecture firm who wants to bring their designs to life. Or you may love debating, so you may end up being a lawyer. The road is never clear cut, and you can't just simplify and generalize so easily. What I do want to stress though, is that it's about your experiences and the way you perceive your interests that matters. You may have heard many people tell you that it's not about the end result, it's about the journey. And that rings true here. It's how you feel through each of your activities, how you respond to them, and how you continue to build on them that will determine what you choose to do later on. So make those lists I told you about and make them as long as you want. Think about your reasons for putting each of those activities on the list, and you will suddenly feel a lot more self-aware. It will take time, and these lists will constantly change, month by month, year by year. My list has changed since I moved to Oman 2 years ago because I discovered all the amazing wadis and treks. It's hard to go past a single weekend without doing some sort of hike or swim. Your lists will evolve in a way that's right for you. But that's your journey, right? Even those changes are yours to experience. You have now assessed your interests and experiences. You will have many hard skills throughout your life because you will be good at many different things. You will also have hard skills because you will work towards many different things. Broadly, academics is a purely hard skill. Life hack, there is so much more out there than just academics. It is very important to achieve good grades at school and continuously develop that hard skill set. But these days, hard skills just don't cut it anymore. So this is where soft skills come in. Soft skills are those which are innately within you, that you continuously develop and strengthen. This doesn't mean that you can't learn them, but it's not like learning English or maths. I want to take you through a few soft skills that are quite important in today's job market. Now, when I say each soft skill, I want you to think about if you think you have this soft skill in a strong way. Maybe you will develop this soft skill a little bit further and know if you think that you really don't. Now, a few of these soft skills include organization, teamwork, punctuality, cross-cultural communication, leadership skills, and the list really goes on. Now, the main soft skill that I think ties all of these together is confidence. Because the more you have soft skills, the more you develop your confidence. But the more confidence you have, the better you'll be able to develop your soft skills. Think about it. It works in both ways. Now I want you to think about these soft skills, and I want to show you ways in which you can develop these. So here are a few life hacks, just 5, to ensure that you can develop and strengthen these soft skills. Now that we've figured out what we love and may not enjoy so much, let's turn to what we are good at, what we may want to work on, and what we know may never be a strength of ours, but we never stop trying: our skills. Let's divide this into 2 sections so you can understand your skill sets: hard skills and soft skills. Hard skills are those that you learn and acquire, usually through school, courses, or some sort of formal training. Are you good at computers, maths, writing essays? Maybe you can balance your accounting sheets really well, or maybe you're a geography whiz. If you're in school, the mark you end up with in Year 12 is an example of your hard skill abilities in each of the subjects you've taken at school. At the university level, your hard skill is the degree that you've graduated with. And in the workforce, your hard skill is determined by the output you bring your company based on the hard skills you've accumulated over time. Maybe you are a marketing manager, so marketing is your hard skill. Now, I want all of you to write down the hard skills you are good at, whether that be academic subjects at school, sport, playing an instrument, or any other course you've done that's given you an additional skill set. I also want you to write down the hard skills you aren't so great at, the ones that you could work a little harder on so that you have a basic understanding of them. Let me give you another relatable example. When I was in school, I loved studying a little bit of everything. In Year 12, the subjects I chose were English, chemistry, Japanese, maths, French, and psychology. Quite a mix, I know. I chose them because I wanted to explore all my options and have a broad understanding of a variety of subjects so that I would in turn have so many more career options. I had to work hard on my maths, especially because it didn't come naturally to me, but it was a hard skill that I fine-tuned because I knew that this understanding could help me in the future. So in your life, never disregard any hard skill, even if you aren't that great at it. At least study it to a basic level so that in your future you will be more well-rounded and you will pick up things about your external environment that you wouldn't have otherwise. You will have a larger hard skill set, and that automatically makes you more adaptable to each situation, which makes you more employable too. Remember those 5 life hacks I spoke about? Well, here they are. 1. Extracurricular activities. I cannot stress the importance of these in your day-to-day life in school and beyond. You need a release, a break in many different learning environments outside of the classroom. Look beyond the books. Extracurriculars automatically develop a variety of soft skills. The range of sports I played, playing the piano, being a part of the debating team, and joining a club at school where we created a business from scratch, all contributed to adding to my soft skill repertoire. Number 2, building relationships. As much as we are independent and we think we don't need anyone, it's so much better to have a variety of different relationships. Your family, friends, teachers, coaches, co-workers, bosses, mentors, and people you meet on the street are all pivotal in determining the type of person you become and the soft skills you develop. Never close yourself off to any relationship. You don't know where it could take you. Number 3, how willing we are to open ourselves up and push ourselves outside our comfort zone. I can't stress how important it is to be open-minded, because when you look around, you will see so much more. So I'm sure you all know the horses that have those blinders on so their vision is limited. So imagine going through your life with blinders on and not being able to see anything except what is directly in front of you. You're going to miss out on so much. So remove those blinders. Start saying yes a little bit more and see what happens. You would rather try and fail than not try at all. That's how we grow. If you aren't so good at talking to people, actively go and seek this out so you become better. This comes back to confidence too. It's a great thing to be outside of your comfort zone. You will learn so much. Number 4, self-reflection. I know it's human tendency to be critical of yourself when something goes wrong or when you make a mistake, and this can also extend onto other people. For example, just say you were playing football and will pass the ball to score the winning goal. You missed. You may either beat yourself up about it, be down in the dumps and lose hope, or you may blame the person who passed the ball to you, saying that they didn't do it right. Now, these are all normal reactions and it's fine to initially feel that, but to move on and develop, there is a better way to respond. You can think about all the reasons you missed the goal, the controllable and the uncontrollable. From the controllable, you can think about what you could do differently next time and how you don't make the same mistake again. Positive self-reflection leads to self-improvement, a skill that cannot be underrated. 5. Happens organically. Yes, in a sense, 21st century skills are developed organically. The environment you grew up in, your genes, your family, and the way you were raised. Your hard skill development also contributes to the way that you pick up soft skills and vice versa. We have now successfully assessed your hard and soft skill set, so let's turn to your personality and values. Because like I said, it's important to understand all the different parts of yourself to ensure you make the right decisions for your future. Personality has been studied by psychologists for years and years, and there are countless methods of testing to find our personality type. Psychometric testing is a great way to do this as it assesses your cognitive ability and personality at the same time. Your personality is who you are, and this can be different from what others view you to be. Now, I don't want to make this super complicated, but I do want to say one thing. You will achieve a lot more if you stay true to who you are, because that's the real you, the natural you. For example, just say that you and your friend are both interviewing for medical school. You've both got past the initial academic assessments, and now the university wants to see your personality. It's time for an interview. Let's say it's for one of the top medical schools in Australia that we deal with at StudyCo, called Monash University. Your friend genuinely loves working with people, helping people, and has excellent communication skills. You, on the other hand, you prefer to be alone, working by yourself and not really meet people that often. No matter how much you try to convince the interviewer that you're exactly like how your friend is, it's not your true personality, and that will shine through. Whichever career you decide on, you need to figure out the personality you need for it. If you don't have that personality, maybe you need to figure out how to develop yourself more, or maybe you need to tweak the profession you are looking at. It's always your choice, and after this series, you will be well equipped to make it. The second part of this section is about values. This ties in quite strongly with personality. The decisions we make every day are a direct reflection of our values, because values is something that are very difficult to change. From birth, our values help us differentiate between right and wrong. Our parents instill us with the values that they think are best for us so that we make the right decisions. The values we choose to draw upon will be different at home, school, university, the workplace, and the list goes on. We can look at 3 types of values that you can look at as students and even parents. So the first one is character values. So these are a set of universal values that classify you as a good human being. So very generally, some examples are loyalty, respect, and positive attitude. The second is work values. So these are values that help you find the right job for you so you can get job satisfaction. The main example of this are good business ethics. The third is personal values. So these help define what you want out of life and who you want to be as a person. The most broad and the most variable. So some examples include religion, family life, and culture. Your parents are a huge part of this. Personality and values define who you are and who you wish to become. They are a crucial step in understanding yourself and your surroundings. In future, you will be spending the most amount of time at your workplace doing your job. If you have the right values, you will be able to stay true to yourself. You will be less likely to succumb to peer pressure, and you will achieve your goals the way you want to. Finally, let's take a quick look at your achievements before we wrap up this episode. I'm going to keep this part extremely brief because it is extremely simple. It's important to notice and understand your previous achievements for many reasons. Here are 3. Number one is that you gain self-confidence in your abilities and strive to achieve more. Number two is that you understand your strengths, skills and abilities, your interests, hard skills and soft skills, and ensure that you use these in future for even better achievements. Number three, from the smallest achievement to the largest, these shape your personality and values, and it's important to understand how. So your achievements are basically an accumulation of everything we have discussed in this episode. Your interests, skills, and personality and values. As you work on these three areas more and more like we talked about, you will strive for greater achievements and do some pretty amazing things. Reflect on your past, live in the present, and strive for the future. Society puts a certain amount of pressure on us to be a certain way, but to act on anything I've said during this episode, you have to be true to yourself. I'd like to leave you all with something that I hope impacts you in the same way that it impacted me. So when I was in year 8, one of my teachers told me there's no such thing as a silly question. Now it's been over 10 years and this has still stuck with me. Why is that? Because ever since that day, I felt confident in my thoughts and I've never been afraid to ask a question. Why should anyone be ridiculed for asking something that they have deemed as important, that they would like the answer to? I don't even think twice. I just ask it. So never be afraid to ask even the most obvious question, because why would you want to miss out on all that extra knowledge? In my opinion, asking questions is one of the most important ways to develop yourself. When we look at assessing ourselves, we're not only looking at who we are right now, but who we want to become to achieve those goals of self-assessment. So ask those questions. That's how we learn, that's how we grow, and that's how we continuously push ourselves to adapt to this constantly changing world.